So in episode 7, the crows are on the way back, but Alina, Nikolai, Maul, they don't know that, and they can't count on the crows actually finding this legendary sword to help them out. They have to game plan as if the crows aren't coming to save them. On top of it, now that Kurgan knows Maul is the Firebird, he knows that he can also visit him, just like he was visiting Alina. The two are tethered because they share a bloodline, and Kurgan does that trying to scare Maul, but it doesn't really work all that well. It's a giant pissing contest between these two guys of, I'm going to kill you, no, wait, no, I'm going to kill you. And it's hilarious because neither are actually in the same room. As they were having this pissing contest, Alina was trying to figure out what she's going to do about the Fold and about Kurgan. Nikolai wants to do an all-out blitz on Kurgan, catch him off guard at Karamzin and attack. Do it before he's able to attack them. He thinks it could work because they'd have the aerial attack and the element of surprise. But Alina suggests that she go alone, which makes little to no sense. And she brings up the fact that nobody else needs to be sacrificed for this thing to end. Nikolai finds this super weird and he asks, where is this coming from? And Alina comes clean about the fact that Maul is the Firebird. After revealing this, she does come around in Nikolai's line of thinking. They can deal with the Fold later. As Nikolai and Alina agree to this, it is clear, though, that Nikolai is starting to feel something for Alina. That fake marriage is turning into real feelings. After leaving Alina, Nikolai happens to run into Maul, and he just hugs him, telling him that he knows. Maul starts talking about the fact that he is going to need to die for the Fold to come down, and Nikolai says, are you sure there's no other way? And Maul says, there is no other way. He then gets real serious with Nikolai and says, when I'm gone, she's going to need somebody by her side, so deserve her. And Nikolai reassures Maul that he will keep Alina safe. Maul and Nikolai then have to head inside because they have to meet with Alina along with the rest of the Grisha and talk about the game plan. This includes David and Genya, who have helped Adric get a new hand. The plan's going to be really simple. Nikolai is going to take a ship with a bunch of Grisha up in the air and catch Kurgan by surprise. And that's when Maul brings up the plan of Alina not going with, because that's exactly what Kurgan is expecting. Instead, Maul and Alina should head into the Fold. While Nikolai is battling Kurgan's army, Alina and Maul will be able to take down the Fold for good. But Alina doesn't want to hear it, because taking down the Fold would mean that Maul would have to die. They're kind of pussyfooting around saying it, and they have to come clean with everybody that Maul is in fact a Firebird. And that's when everybody starts trying to think of a way where Maul doesn't have to die. And the way that they come up with is using a heart renderer and a finger. They would cut off Maul's finger while he's alive and fuse it to Alina. Then a heart renderer would kill Maul for about 2 minutes, and as soon as he is dead, Alina's powers would be amplified to take down the Fold. After 2 minutes, the heart renderer, who in this case is Tamar, would bring Maul back to life. It's a great plan. So, David, Genya, and Tamar sit back as Nikolai gives an impassioned speech and gets ready to go up in the air. David, however, is having a real problem cutting off the finger. It's just not something he's really used to, and he's taking his time. He's pussyfooting around the issue, and that's when they are attacked by a smoke monster. And they're not the only ones, because Nikolai's ship was also attacked. They flew right into a trap. Kurgan was able to locate Alina using Vadim, who sprinkled a little bit of bone dust on himself, amplified his powers, and he could feel her presence. He also took some of that bone dust and gave it to a select number of Grisha, who have way amplified powers. Those Grisha use these amplified powers to knock the ship out of the sky and have the king on the run. As they're trying to make their way back to the fort is under attack by these shadow monsters, and to make it worse, it was Kurgan who walked into the Fold and starts moving it towards the fort. It doesn't take long for the fort to be swallowed up by the Fold, so now they're dealing with shadow monsters and they're dealing with Volcra. Maul and Alina end up getting separated from David and Genya. David knows he needs to protect Genya, and he has to do it at the cost of his own life. He convinces Genya to get into a small elevator, and then he shuts it, locking her in, so she can't get out, as he is attacked by a shadow monster. Maul and Alina, meanwhile, are just trying to fend off Volcra at every turn, and it's becoming way too much. One of the Volcra is about to attack Alina, it grabs her, and that's when Alina is saved by Inej, who has the sword. And boy, is Alina relieved to see her old friend. As Alina is telling Inej to keep the sword because no one's going to wield it like her, She hears Zoya mock them, saying, yes, yes, reunions are great. That's because Zoya and Nina were in the same ship with Inej. This is perfect because Alina wants to go deeper into the fold to destroy it. So they hop in this ship and they all take off. But the rest of the crows are bailing out the king and his men. The king was chased right to the edge of the fort, and they're on the run. These Grecian powers are tough, and they're putting up a good fight, but it's becoming too much. One by one, these Grecians start picking off Nikolai's men while also pushing Nikolai into the fold. That's when Kaz and the crows and Tolia come and save the day. It starts out with Wylan, who throws a bomb because he is the demolitions expert, and it's capped off with Jesper, who really took Oval's words to heart because, man, he starts wielding his power, and it's impressive. He's able to cut off Frugi's fingers using buttons. She can't wield her power without fingers, so Nikolai finishes her off with a bullet. Once the dust settles, Nikolai says if Kurgan brought the fight to us, then he's going for Alina. So the group heads into the fort to try and save her. But Alina and Maul and a few others are already in the middle of the fold. They're actually at the exact location where Kurgan first started it. She figures that if they're going to bring down the fold, that's the best chance they have, right there. Maul takes out his gun to shoot himself, but she says no, we can do this another way. And she simply touches his chest as he holds her wrist. This does work. She does have amplified powers. And as they kiss, they are radiating a globe of red. But the cute moment is interrupted by Kurgan, whose smoke monsters are trying to get into this fortified globe, but they're having trouble. Kurgan starts to attack Alina, but Alina is able to get a cut out first, and she injures Kurgan. But he's not the only one, because Maul suffered damage as well, and when Alina notices this, the globe comes down because her focus isn't on it. So these smoke monsters start grabbing people one by one, like Nina. Without the protection of the Sun Summoner, they're sitting targets. But Alina isn't focused on them, she's focused on saving Maul's life. Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it, smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.